start my music. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna try and just free flow some stuff about the Onewheel for whoever's interested, new riders, whatever. So I could ramble. I'll try and edit it if I do. So yeah, I'm a month in, about 200 miles. Started riding Delirium about a week ago now, and definitely feels like where I need to be. Board feels a lot more stable than in mission mode, but like I appreciated the fact that mission mode was a little bit more forgiving, like to your movements. Like Delirium really seems super tuned into micro movements and shifts in your weight, which at this point in my understanding of how to control the board I really appreciate, but might have been like a little bit dangerous at earlier points in time. So there's that. But I have been switching back to mission occasionally, just if I want like a little bit more cushiony ride, because it definitely does give that, whereas like I said, the Delirium is much more stable. Foot movement, huge. Being able to shift your feet on the board while you're riding has been a big elevator for me as well. And not only on the board, but with my rear foot in particular, shifting it within my shoe. So like the pad of, so like the tread of my shoe is still connecting solidly with the grip tape, but like I've kind of got my heel at like a 45-degree angle inside the shoe, bracing against the sidewall of the heel almost. And like that lets me get down a little lower, feel more stable. And just have a little more control at like slightly higher speeds. But more so than that, just like simply being able to like shift around your feet like while you're in motion is huge for confidence, because like say you hit like a bump or something, you know? Like if you're confident in shifting your foot around on the board already, just like the readjustment that you might have to make while your foot is actually possibly like not making solid connection for a microsecond is made easier by being used to doing so already under more predictable conditions. Carving, loving it. Like, there's a couple of different techniques that I kind of use in that. I don't know how easy it'll be to see in footage, but I kind of feel like I have several sort of distinct stances within my just regular style. Like this is just like my cruising stance, and like chest forward, shoulders kind of square, heel back in that 45-degree position inside the shoe that I was talking about. And I kind of tend to just shift my upper body weight back and forth and let the board react, and then I counteract it with a combination of weight shift and movement of my rear foot in the opposite direction that I want to turn, kind of shifting my hips around that way. guys? How are y'all? Again, like having your feet, giving your feet some mobility on the board, it changes. It changes things. Not feeling completely planted at all times. So back to those stances I was talking about. So like regular, just kind of like that cruising stance, and then I'll switch back to like kind of a backside, like, and that lets me get a little more torque on that heel, and then I can shift it back around too. But like, it kind of like if you're doing like little cars, it kind of like reminds me of what I always expected it would feel like on like ice skates, like when the pros are like turned around a little bit and doing that crazy pumping that they do to get speed up, which is kind of how I always tend to speed up as well, as like this pump. And sometimes I use that backward stance turnaround to help with it. I'm really comfortable with my heel side carves, but my toe side is still a little uncertain. At least at higher speeds. Medium speeds. At higher speeds, it's not really an issue because you just stick to the board. See, I felt a little squirrely right at the end of that one. Doesn't help that there's a high peak in the middle of this road. Maybe it does help, I don't know. You'll see it kind of like that stance shift that I'll do. It like kind of changes the direction of my knees too. Like I'll switch to the backside. Kind of helps with my knee fatigue. Anyway, that's enough yakety yak. Maybe change the angle and play around a little bit.